Welcome to the Greenway with Mac, a channel dedicated to active transportation. Today I am guiding you on a city ride through the streets of San Francisco, letting you in on a secret route for locals called the Wiggle. San Francisco is known for its hills, and if you don't plan your route carefully, you could face grades higher than 30%. The Wiggle skips the steep hills and takes you from the city's major thoroughfare, Market Street, to the panhandle of Golden Gate Park. From there, we will go into the park just a little bit to check out the newly liberated JFK Promenade. On the way, I'll show you a detour to SF's iconic Alamo Square Park, a place that visitors should not miss. Since Market Street and Golden Gate Park have protected bike lanes or off-street lanes, this provides an amazing east-west connection from the waves of the Pacific Ocean to the Embarcadero and San Francisco's Ferry Building. I'm starting at the beginning of the Wiggle at the intersection of Market Street and Debauchee Avenue. Look out for these green signs and green sharrows on the ground to help stay on course. One of the reasons the city is so iconic is its unique hilly topography, and riding from Market Street uphill to Golden Gate Park can be a real pain. The Wiggle gently guides you to the park with a series of turns that snakes through the steep, hilly streets, with grades of 6% or less. Once we get to the Panhandle, the second half of the ride is 1.5 miles long and is fully separated from cars except for street crossings. Carefully cross this intersection of stop signs, cutting diagonally if you can. It gets much easier after this. The Wiggle is not in protected bike lanes, but uses slower streets. If you removed the free public car storage on these streets, then the lane could be physically separated, which would encourage a broader range of users. I would replace these current spots with short-term ones for mail trucks or deliveries, which would eliminate double parking. This mail truck is forcing us into traffic and a bad angle with the Muni rails. Hang a right on Steiner. The park on the left is Debauchee Park. Here you'll find a playground, a large grassy area for off-leash dogs, and the opposite end is the Harvey Milk Center for the Arts. We are in the Debauchee Triangle neighborhood and will cross into Lower Haight when we turn onto Waller Street. We started the ride really close to both the Castro and Mission Dolores neighborhoods. Follow these sharrows to make a left on Waller. On our right is Wiggle Bicycles, which is a highly rated city bicycle shop. Make a right on Pierce. Go left at Haight. If you continue for 7 more blocks, then you'll be at the famous intersection of Haight-Ashbury. The summer of love has long passed, but there are still some fun places to visit here. I love having a drink at Bar Zam Zam, grabbing a bite at Cha Cha Cha, and browsing what's new at Amoeba Music. Go right on Scott for 3 blocks. This is Page Street, and this barrier shows that it is a slow street and closed to through traffic. I'll talk more about it in a minute, but in short, this is an option for returning to Market Street if you are headed back east after going to Golden Gate Park. At the intersection of Scott and Fell, you can take a detour to Alamo Square Park, which I highly encourage you to do if you are a visitor to the city. You'll have a classic view of downtown's skyscrapers with the painted ladies in the foreground. To get there, go straight 1 block to Hayes, and the park is on the opposite corner. We are making a left on Fell, and briefly there is a protected lane on the left. After 3 blocks, we reach the end of the Wiggle and are at the panhandle of Golden Gate Park. We lose that protected lane pretty quickly here, so this is the sketchiest part of the route. Cars may want to cross the lane to turn left, plus this gas station can be backed up with vehicles, so be super careful. This is a popular route, so hopefully there are other riders with you because there is safety in numbers. Here the cars are turning left as well. Be patient and follow them through the intersection. Passing the cars on either side here is really dangerous. This protected lane is nice if you want a quicker ride. You can also ride the shared use path through the park, but it's usually more crowded, so you'll need to take it slower. There isn't a protected lane on the other side of the Panhandle, so I recommend riding through the park on your way back. This is what I did. If you want to do the same, then take the shared use path at the end of the Panhandle. Starting at the tip of the Panhandle on Oak Street, there is a protected bike lane that begins, which you can take to Scott, and you can retrace your steps on the Wiggle. Another option is to take Page Street back to Market, since you're up on the hill now, and you can coast back down on a city-recognized, permanent slow street. During the pandemic, streets like Page were closed to through traffic so that people could have extra space outside without the threat of speeding vehicles. Page Street is one of 17 slow streets as of the publication of this video. The Panhandle is 8 blocks long, and on this block there are bathrooms, a playground, and a basketball court. We are getting close to the park, so let's talk about some of the awesome stuff you'll find here. The Japanese Tea Garden is the oldest Japanese garden in the United States. It was built as part of the World's Fair, which San Francisco hosted in 1894, and is a stunningly beautiful place to visit. Inside you'll find a tea house, a pagoda, a drum bridge, and a variety of imported plants and animals. Other unique stops are the Dutch and Murphy windmills. Both are located at the far west end of the park and are Instagram-worthy stops to document your trip. Right here, you need to enter the Panhandle, or if it's clear like it was for me, then cross over Fell Street and join the bike lane on the right side. Here's a few more things about the park. You'll also find a pasture with American bison grazing near the west end. The park also hosts major annual music events, such as Outside Lands in August and Hardly Strictly Bluegrass in September or October. The final stretch of the ride is on JFK Drive, which is now the JFK Promenade because it's free of cars. This stretch had been closed to cars on Sundays for decades, and during the pandemic, they closed it full-time, which created a car-free path across the park to the Pacific. In April of 2022, the Board of Supervisors voted to make this permanent. However, that was not the end of the story. Enter a socialite and literal heir to the founder of Dow Chemical. Seriously, can't make this stuff up. This woman had been spending money and sending misinformation about the newly liberated JFK Promenade. After the Board of Supervisors voted to approve the car-free space, she pushed a ballot that would put cars back on the promenade. Voters were given the choice, and they soundly rejected her proposal by 30 points, showing that residents value safe places to recreate without the threat of private cars. SF Bike, the CEO of the Botanical Gardens, the Chamber of Commerce president, and KidSafe SF are just a few of the organizations responsible for winning this battle for active lifestyles. The stewards of the DeYoung Museum spent nearly $500,000 trying to kill this incredible car-free space, so think twice about where you want to spend your dollars when visiting the city. The San Francisco Bicycle Coalition would be a much better recipient of your donations if you want to support their efforts to keep walkers and rollers safe in the city. A link to their website is in the description. Their current battle is the Great Highway Park, which is a car road that runs up the western coast of the city along the ocean. Support SF Bike to keep hanging L's on the car first folks. This is the 6th Avenue Skate Park, where roller skaters show off their skills. Look out for David Miles Jr., a local legend who is known as the godfather of skate. He is credited with starting the Church of Eight Wheels, the Black Rock Roller Disco, and the 100-foot painted mural in the middle of the skating area. This was the first video from the San Francisco Bay Area, and many more are already recorded, so you can expect lots more content from here if that's your jam. The Bay Area has a robust and expanding collection of greenways, city bike infrastructure, and gems like the 500-mile San Francisco Bay Trail to be shared. I was treated to a large group of swing dancers when I arrived, so let's listen in.